Hi, welcome back to another video. So, today I wanted to focus on a feature that came out on a television show in Israel called Israel Today. This is a big mainstream broadcast similar to our Today show here in the US, right? And this was a feature by their journalist Yehuda Schlesinger. And he was talking about what he called the most disturbing pictures that he's seen come out of Gaza in some time. And that's a pretty big statement. I mean, we have all seen endless disturbing photos. So, what really stood out to old Yehuda? Well, it was pictures of Gazans at the beach. It wasn't mass graves at hospitals. It wasn't starving kids. It wasn't kittens under the rubble. It was people in Gaza on their own coast. So, if you are not familiar with the geography of the Gaza Strip, it's a very small area, most densely packed place on earth, and it's about 5 miles wide on average and only 25 miles long. And that whole 25 miles has a beach. And Gaza has been experiencing some really intense heat early in the season this year. And it's just adding more misery to the already unbelievably miserable conditions that they're all in. Now, anyone who's ever been camping knows that as soon as the sun hits your tent, it turns into an oven. It's just miserable, stifling hot. Now, since the Israelis have bombed almost every building in Gaza, many people are internally displaced and living in these densely packed, crowded refugee camps in tents in a heat wave. And it's not just the heat. Now, there have been no access to basic infrastructure. People don't have water. They're already chronically dehydrated. And now they're trapped in these tents in the heat. My friend who I speak to on a daily basis in Gaza was just telling me about these just like chronic, severe headaches. And some of that is the dehydration, a big portion of it. There's also just a constant buzzing of these loud Israeli drones. And, they're all malnourished, they're ill, and they just want some relief. And, Adam was telling me the other day about just how important the sea is and how it's this little sliver of relief. Now, there's also another aspect that I really haven't heard talked about that comes with the heat. There's already no sanitation there. There's just heaps of garbage everywhere. There's nowhere to put the garbage. There's no way to take it away. It's just piling up. And now that the heat has come, the swarms of insects are just awful. And, and these people are sleeping on the ground. That, now they have to worry about scorpions in their bed, all this other stuff. And the diseases that are spread by the lack of sanitation, and now this extra component of having these swarms of insects. So the one place where you can get even the tiniest bit of relief is the sea. When you get to the coast, you get at least a breeze. I've always found just the sound of the waves so comforting. Even that is distorted by the constant buzz of these Israeli drones that maybe they're spying and just taking pictures, like the one that pissed off Yehuda Schlesinger so much. Or maybe they're just gonna like drop death from the air at you at any time. You never know. So these people are on the beach. It's a way you can get in the water, cool off, rinse off your body, get away from the bugs, get a little bit of breeze. And he is livid. So he comments next. These people deserve a hard and agonizing death. There are no innocents in Gaza. None. And to back up his point, he then says, they took selfies with our abductees. I'm going to jump in here for a minute. That's true. When the hostages were coming over on the 7th of October, there were people that took selfies. But there are were 2.3 million people in the Gaza Strip. A handful of people took selfies. I'm not going to defend that, but I am going to comment that one way to look at these situations is to always flip the script. So the IDF take selfies with their abductees. Not only the IDF, but Israeli civilians. There was this huge TikTok trend going in Israel with this really obnoxious children's song, and they'd all use that as the soundtrack. And I think it's like kind of like just this insidious, like Israeli version of Baby Shark kind of thing. Really obnoxious. But they would have this whole TikTok trend of Israeli civilians with driving around bopping to this song with kidnapped Palestinians bound and blindfolded in the back of their vehicle. This was all the rage in Israel. And that is also gross. So when you watch Israeli television for the past 6.5 months, they're not seeing what we see, which is now mostly just this horrible genocide unfolding. What they see is wall-to-wall coverage of repeating October 7th and talk of their hostages. So these people are super worked up about this with like no self-awareness that this thing they are so enraged in, this behavior they find so unforgivable, is widely accepted when it's Israelis doing it. So it's just another piece of hypocrisy there. So anyway, I'm going to jump back into the quote. The fact that they are enjoying the beach instead of starving, instead of being severely tormented. Okay, me jumping in here again. They're doing both. Everybody's severely tormented in Gaza. Everybody is starving. Or more accurately, everybody is being starved. We hear a lot of headlines that say things like, Gazans are starving. Gazans are being killed. And there's no agency assigned to that. Who's starving them? Who's killing them? It's Israel. But yes, Yehuda, they're doing both things. And the fact that you find the most disturbing thing about all of this is human beings trying to take care of themselves and find the slightest bit of relief from their torment, that's what enrages you the most, is just mind-boggling. This is what a society that is whipped up into genocidal madness looks like. So I'm going to jump back into the quote recap so I can do the whole sentence without my interrupting. So Yehuda Schlesinger says, the fact that they are enjoying the beach instead of starving, instead of being severely tormented, my blood is boiling. We should have seen more revenge, more rivers of Gazans' blood. End quote. This is totally normal talk. This is not some extremist. This guy's like considered an Israeli version of a liberal. Now, of course, not everyone in this society has one frame of mind, but the vast majority of them, and the vast majority of the news that they consume, and what is completely and totally, absolutely accepted in their society, is talk like this. And whenever you see Israelis speaking in English, what you're looking at is propaganda geared towards a Western audience. And what really, really I have found to be the most interesting part of all of this is listening to how they talk amongst themselves in Hebrew. As if nobody, like it's a secret code and we can't figure out what they're saying. You know, I mean, many Americans have been to Hebrew school. Every American has Google Translate. And if you apply the slightest bit of effort into what is being said, it really paints a different picture of what's going on here. So I just wanted to pop in, tell you about this story. This isn't an unusual thing. But one of the things I want to do on my channel is I do realize that the average person isn't going to be going into Israeli media and translating what is said. And so because I spend so much time on this subject and have studied it so deeply, I'm going to kind of pull some pieces of information and just put them out in these short videos for you. So if you like this, if you want to learn more, please subscribe to my channel and support me. I'm brand new and I greatly appreciate your support. If you found this video useful, please share it, leave a comment, thumbs up. All of those things really, really help me get my channel off the ground. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Much love and free Palestine.